Yota
Oh,
Tsuji versus Gabe Kidd. I'm here to tell you niggas now. January 4th, 2026. Be there, nigga, for the rematch. Be there. Out of this fucking world. Yota Tsuji is no longer waiting for to be basically, elevated or anything. No, he's here now. Like it's official. He's a top star. Incredible.
I
Gabe
mean, he's been
Kidd,
proving it.
Gabe
I
Kidd.
mean, when you say he's proved that since at least the dome, at least at the latest.
Oh, it's official now. Like it's like if you
No,
thought
but I
that
mean, don't you mean like okay? Do you feel like now's the time to say, or do you be like it's beyond official? Like now you
no,
just
it's beyond
ignoring the common
official.
sense now.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel
it's
like it's at that point now.
like he's fully formed. I'll say like we've seen like all right, this nigga can clearly be on top of this company along with this nigga that I'm about to talk about, Gabe Kidd.
Time for a new leader of Lij.
It might be. It might be. um Yeah, him and Gabe. Gabe was over as fuck in Osaka, walking around the building. This man coming out doing the Dylan Brooks kind of dance or whatever to his
Oh
song.
my god.
And basically is his taunt when he gets like out of like a chain wrestling sequence or some shit. These niggas have an
That's
epic,
funny.
epic, epic match. Like just two big barrel chested motherfuckers slapping, fighting. Just like setting up all this perfectly timed stuff, cool spots. There was a reverse of a spear, like of the Gene Blast into a pile driver. I was like, what the
Mm.
fuck? Like, I think Gabe is like going to another level. Now like he's gonna be putting these on pretty much all year now. So lock in, like with him. And he was they basically, Gabe's thing was like he wanted to basically show he wanted to use all the basics against Tsuji because they have a long rivalry going back to being young lions and all that. But with Gabe is almost not about the moves. He has the moves, don't get it twisted, but like he's
Yeah, but he doesn't.
bro. It's like he
He
cuts
doesn't.
his chest open and lets us see his heart while he wrestles. Like
The thing about him that I like about him in the ring is that like he, when he does the part that I buy the most when he talks about like I am the like more or less I'm the heart of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like when he's out here doing the octopus holding shit, like when he's actually doing the young boy stuff, like that actually is endearing,
yeah,
you know.
they
But yeah,
there was a long sequence. I think it was Tsuji that actually put Gabe in the Boston Crab, and
yeah.
it was like, yo, they
He
really
sold it.
fucking
He sold like
going
that was it.
there.
He sold like near fall.
Oh, oh yes,
That's great.
absolutely.
That's great.
Um, so like they end this match right as
Mm.
this shit goes to a draw, and I don't know what's coming.
You didn't realize it.
I didn't
Was it
know.
20 minute?
No. Let me look
30?
up the time on it.
Either it's probably 30.
Let me look up the time on it. Hold on. 21:42.
Went to a time limit draw in 21:42.
21:42. So this is what they did. It was like a
Oh,
double
okay. It was
knockout,
a time limit.
and it was like
Oh,
it
okay.
was like a Rocky 2 ending, pretty much.
Okay.
So like they like Tsuji gets up at 9, but then he collapses again. And then it's like, are they gonna start it over? But Gabe never gets up or whatever the whole time.
Okay.
And it's 21 minutes. This match is sensei. I did not see that coming because like, and the whole time, like
Mm.
I was fortunate enough not to be spoiled. I was like, how are they gonna do this? Because both these guys kind of need a big win. Tsuji just got that belt. Gabe has the New Japan Strong belt, but he hasn't really won much. He's coming off the loss at the Dome, draw with Ishii, now another draw here or whatever. But I think this shit was like, if you went into this blind, oh my God, like this is one of the best matches of the year. And then,
Look, man,
okay,
I would say you know me, like I don't care about a draw if it's excellent, like and and you're not overdoing it, right? Like that was the appeal of like Shuri for me at the beginning was like she will go 15 to 20 minutes with you in a multi-person tag or a singles match or whatever in the Grand Prix and get you to be like, I can't wait for that person for them to fight again to see who actually wins this thing. Hell, she did it with Utami like 3 fucking times to get to that final match. So yeah.
These niggas were emptying the gun, emptying the clip, like as far as like they looked exhausted. They were just fighting it out with the strikes. Like the crowd, both dudes like gods. I felt like I was watching guys step into the next era of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like these are the two fucking guys right here. Like I'm not seeing it. Shota Umino, who cut his hair off like he was Kyle Fletcher at random. I'm like, the last time you got your shit all fucked up was when you cut your hair to the other length. Of course, doubling down is gonna help. Yu Uemura did return on the show.
He's still selling the baldness.
No, his hair's grown back now.
Okay, that's good.
But at the end of this,
you don't need to wait like 6 months or a year. So
right at the end of this draw or whatever, I'm like, well, what the fuck happened? So the House of Torture runs out, right? House of Torture comes out. Gabe's laying in the corner, and then Yota Tsuji, they started stomping a mud hole in him, just beat the fuck out of him, discard him essentially, and then Evil comes out with Dick Togo, and Evil's wearing an all black shirt. Evil's whole thing has been like he's leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling or whatever, right?
Right. It's been that work shoot shit, yeah.
Right. So he gets in the ring, and then they're like helping Gabe up, and they're talking about, there's always been a loose affiliation with House of Torture and the War Dogs. This is all Bullet Club here, essentially.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, I'm just like, And then what happens is they drop Gabe Kidd, like, and basically Evil is all a ruse. House of Torture is now his own standalone unit. Evil cuts a promo. They whooped Gabe Kidd's ass. They whooped Tsuji, and then essentially established House of Torture as his own separate shit. Clark Connors, who was on commentary, tried to run in. He got fucking killed. And then kind of just left those guys land. So it's like the War Dogs are all kind of set up for babyface turn, it looks like.
Right.
And, I thought it worked well. And then the main event. I think a large part of Hirooki Goto's appeal is Hirooki Goto for a long time was a lot of us. He's someone that may be special, but he doesn't know it. And he's perpetually stuck in the middle. He's banged his head up against conventional wisdom, achievement. He was going through his career defined by failure, and it's like, almost, why are you still here when all of your peers are aging out, retiring, or leaving to another country, and all these things. And then as I was watching this match, I felt like I watched Goto's entire career summed up in one match, as far as like, you want to talk about never say die, never quit. Like, hasn't had an IWGP title match in 9 years. Everybody knows 0-8 Goto, losing to Tanahashi and Okada over and over, geeked out, winning all those tournaments in the older days, but never really got whatever. But then, like, his dad,
the last time was G1 2015, right?
He was in the G1 final in 2016. The last
time
he
won 15, and then he lost in 16 to Omega, right? Or am I wrong on that?
He did not win in 15. He won He won in 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I remember. I remember specifically that he lost to Omega in the final in 16. I remember that. Yeah.
And the first time I ever watched Hirooki Goto was against Shinsuke Nakamura. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, because I had, I was spoiled. I was like, they beat Nakamura with somebody, and then I saw him wrestle the first time. I was like, oh, this nigga's raw as fuck. Like, and he's right. The thing about Goto is he's always had the incredible moveset, incredible connection with the crowd, the super raw music, and like,
remember that one time, like, wouldn't last like 6-7 years when he got himself in better shape.
Yeah,
he maintained it,
and then like he's gone through and he's had good matches with a couple guys. He formed a tag team with Yoshihashi, which became one of the more notable tag teams in history. with Bishamon, and it's like to see this guy like never give up, and then his dad dies last year, and that becomes like the central thing to drive him to make the New Japan Cup Finals. Drives him, to have like all these awesome matches in the G1, and basically just gets this entire career rebirth essentially. And now he faces Zack Sabre Jr., who I would consider of his generation, but these guys have kind of rose up in separate ways as far as like, Zach and Goto have wrestled a ton of time. They've been around each other in G1 blocks, and like this is not a new opponent or anything. This is like somebody that, was there going through it with him. And it's like Zach's the champion, but it's like he's not unbeatable. So Goto reached deep down within himself. And when I tell you the way he was getting out of these submission holes had this building looking like it was ready to concave upon itself. Like I've never thought I don't think I've ever seen a better Zack Sabre Jr. Submission performance as far as like it looks like it's over for somebody. Like it looks like he's cutting them off. It's basically there is no exit here. There's no exit route here.
Even better than like the Ospreay stuff.
I think so. Just the moment in the IWGP title, and it was just like he's shutting the water off. Essentially, he's turning the lights off in the home, and the only way out is to walk your ass out the front door. Essentially, is submit. But this nigga never submit, and like he just kept going through it. They were striking each other. The building is just like, like it's crazy in there, and he starts getting these insane reactions and wins this fucking belt. And it's like, holy fuck. Like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. This is one of the greatest matches of all time. I think, like, this, if you are a pro wrestling fan and then knowing anything about Hirooki Goto, right? They sold the shit out of these tickets. They sold like over 5,500 in Osaka for this. And it was like, yo, man, like they've got some going with him. People are into it. Yeah, he's old. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, like it's like, and he called out Tanahashi. He's going to defend the belt against Tanahashi. He's going to defend the belt against Yuji Nagata, and he wants Shibata. And if they do Shibata and Goto again,
they're going to lose it.
It's going to be incredible. I tell you,
yeah.
I could not be like Hirooki Goto. This is one of our guys. This is a pro wrestling fan's pro wrestler right here.
Yeah.
Guy was going to just walk into being one of the greatest wrestlers to never win a world championship. Well, what happens now, James? I guess we'll never know because he did it.
Yeah. A lot of feel good stuff going on with New Japan. Like, you mentioned Sabre being the champion first. Is like, well, if Sabre can be champion, why can't Goto? So, like, it made sense that like that's what it gives birth to. And then, like, obviously, given that where they are, like, they can't go back to Naito. Naito's doing something else right now. Like they can find until they find a proper time and place to get it to Gabe Kidd or get it to Tsuji or get it to Takeshita. They can ride out with these guys. They can ride out the hell. They can go back. They can go back to Shingo, right? Yeah. Like they have guys that guys that can hold down the main event for it. The problem was we never thought that they could get themselves to a point where like not being so afraid of drawing. They were like they had to keep going back to Okada and Naito, and there is no Okada in this equation. And Naito is just beyond the point where they can do that anymore. Right, like they have squeezed every last bit of of juice out of that lemon or orange, whatever fruit you want to call it, citrus. So yeah, like I like what they've done, and like it is rewarding to watch a wrestling promotion and watch an entire generation of pro wrestlers and see people that are perform at a certain level and whatever else they don't break through. And you don't have to immediately move on before you get through all of the stories you can possibly get through. Right? That was one of our main frustrations with Stardom was like, we got through, we got to Tommy, we got the Shuri story, we got through Tam and Julia, but it's like, we know that Kamatani's next, but it's like it feels like we're a million years away from before we ever get to Starlight Kid and Azumi, and like they finally got off their ass and got to it this around Christmas, and it was like, thank you, I've been waiting 5 years for this, you know. So like yeah, like when you get through, you know, that's one of the things when you know AEW or whatever else you talk about like the pillars and that kind of thing, and like we talked about is like most places there's going to be a churn. And the guys you think had the potential to get there aren't always going to get there, and you will be disappointed, but there will be new guys to fill those roles. Like, there will be a Swerve Strickland to come along. But if there ain't no Swerve Strickland to come along, then you got to go with those guys. And, like, at this point, there's not necessarily a Swerve Strickland to come in. So, like, yeah, like, and also, in this particular situation, like, they're you know, Kenny Omega, their Moxley is too old and one left to the other, went to another continent. So it's like, all right, what are you going to go with now? So for them, like, it has to be really fulfilling to like, to watch Goto, and we've watched Goto for over a decade.
Yeah.
You know? And we always joke like, bro, he's so underrated. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, but he'll never be champion. And we always joke about Goto. We always made a connection. We always made a joke about Goto and Jungle Kiona. Like, do you know the kind of tears I would have cried if Jungle needs him to get fucked up and she had finally won the red belt?
Look,
I'd have been done.
I did not cry. I did not cry watching Goto, but it was dust in the room. I'll say that. Like, it was dust in the room.
And it's worthy that we watched that dude be fucking awesome for a long time. It was never that, you know, the Isaiah Thomas, you know, why he didn't make the Dream Team in the Jordan documentary.
I was qualified.
I was qualified a minute. That motherfucker was always going to be a world champion level wrestler. Or always be put in main events to be a world champion. He always was that good. It just was never happening because he was in the most loaded like male singles division we've ever saw.
Like he's playing on a 27 Yankees and he's like the 8 hitter. Like I don't.
Yeah. Like I remember Robinson Cano in the 09 Yankees. Like he was hitting 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like that. It's like, yeah, he's an all-star. Yeah, whatever. But like, yeah, there's still A-Rod and Matsui and Johnny Damon and Jeter. You know, it's like, yeah, you're dealing with a whole different type of monster here. And so in context, it would make sense. But like in the context, or sorry, in the vacuum of New Japan Pro Wrestling in the 2010s, yeah, he's not a world champion. In the context of pro wrestling in general, that motherfucker's a main event level wrestler.
Absolutely.
You know, it had been. So like, I'm happy for him.
Question for Brewhaven: does Goto winning the belt give hope to Ishii or no? Yes, it does. And I'm not quitting on. Look, the day Tomohiro Ishii wins the world title, I will cry my eyeballs out on this stream talking about it.
Now they don't even put him in the G1 no more. So I'll hold out hope with you.
Look,
hoping against hope.
Yeah, like I'm still.
He's more qualified than even Goto was.
Yeah. So that was the first. I was like, bro, can we get a Goto Ishii defense? Can we do a little something?
I tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. If they go on a title succession plan of Zack Sabre Jr. to Hirooki Goto to Tomohiro Ishii, I'd be like, you know what, Gato? I have poured dirt and shit on your name for like the last 2-3 years. You know what? Let me get a shovel and scoop some of that off you. You are now making me look. Taro Kano's out of my doghouse after what he's done the last 2 months. So yeah, like there's always time for me to stop hating your guts and the shit you do. As long as you start doing the right things.
Yeah, man.
All I'm doing is working on information information I have at present time. I'm allowed to change my opinion upon new information.
I think like Hirooki Goto winning the championship gives hope for us all. You know, gives hope for us all. You know.
Oh my god.
So let's make a.
You know, it's sad to say it's fair. We hope we have Japanese pro wrestling to give us hope in this whole situation. Not like American wrestling. Not like the American political structure. No. Japanese professional wrestling is what's keeping us going through the days now and doing this show. Oh
amazing.
My god, it's sad. Very, very sad.
So we're gonna take a left